I fear no man, but that thing, it scares me.
You are probably not afraid of the color blue, but some of your ancestors were. And you can laugh at them for being silly, but don't laugh too hard, because one day humanity might have to fear it again. Not now though. We're in 2025 and there's a high chance that blue is your favorite color. And why wouldn't it be? It's the sky and the sea, it's calmness, serenity, peace, trust, confidence, reflection, coldness, distance, melancholy, passivity, sadness, depression, drowning and suffocating, cholera, death. So yeah, the color blue is not all baby birds and dories. It also has dark baggage, inherited from an older time when humanity was still young. Part 1. Blue Inhuman Group. Blue is pretty hard to find in living nature. I mean, if I ask you to close your eyes and think of a blue terrestrial animal, I don't know what comes to mind. No, please no. So when the color blue does appear, it means something strange is going on. Because there's a reason why the color blue is so rare, and it's actually pretty interesting. Blue is kind of bad if you want to survive out there and raise your kids. I mean, times are tough for the blue polar bear who gets spotted from miles away. Times are tough for the blue mice trying to hide from the eagles in the grass. In these kinds of situations, we need to ask ourselves, WWDS, what would Darwin say? Probably that if the blue mutation appears in a mouse, or a polar bear, or any terrestrial animal, the host of the mutation will be at a disadvantage and eventually go extinct. In other words, what normally happens is that if you go blue, you go bust, because being blue is almost never an advantage compared to the more discrete colors. So then, if you stumble upon a blue guy in nature, it means this mofo and his ancestors have found a way to survive for potentially millions of years, despite being terrible at camouflage. And it can only be because he has a trick. And the trick is murdering its predators. And wait, did I just realize that birds have so many more colors than earth animals because they can fly away, making it less critical for them to have camouflage? So yeah, unless you're a bird or a fish, in which case you can be any color you want, then you're not supposed to be blue. And if you are, it means you're probably dangerous, because otherwise how would you have survived? Would you want to be the one to try out this blue mycena? Who knows, maybe it's the magic mushroom from Common Side Effects that can fix any ailment and Part 2. The lost sacredness of the color blue. A third deconstruction of the evolution of human perception of blue from its veneration in mythological. In the north, we thought the blue sky was the inside of the skull of Ymir, so literally made from a corpse. And we thought the sea ended in certain death. The world, before we invented writing and started sharing knowledge, was full of wonder and fear, which made it sacred. Sacred in the sense that you never knew if the blue mushroom would kill you, or what the deal was with the sky and the sea. But today we know. The sky is blue because of the way the atmosphere scatters the light of the sun. The sea is blue mainly because water absorbs red light more than blue. And now, it's only been a few seconds since I started talking about this, but already the video is getting kind of boring, and it's not on purpose. But at least it illustrates what I mean by the loss of sacredness of the color blue. The wonder and fear have given way to dry explanations. I'm not saying that science is boring, but Rayleigh scattering is simply less cool than the skull of Ymir, I'm sorry. Just like we know that traveling far into the sea doesn't lead you to fall into the abyss at the end of the world, and instead you end up in Australia. And we know eating the blue mycena is forbidden because it's on the forbidden snacks subreddit. And this blue frog did have a time between sacredness and modernity, when some tribes used it to poison their arrows. But now it has quite literally been tamed because he's in the Tennessee Zoo, which is basically a jail. Wait, no little froggy, that's not a zoo, that's Horny Jail. How did you end up here? And because blue pigment is rare in nature, it used to be revered, the color of the gods, blue fragments of lapis lazuli. But now we make the color artificially, for jeans and makeup.
I'm afraid I just blew myself.
And the rarity of the color blue used to tap into one of our defining features as humans, the fear of foreigners. About 700 million people have blue eyes today, but can you guess how many had blue eyes 10,000 years ago?
0.
The blue eye mutation appeared very recently in human history, with a single person near the Black Sea getting the mutation about 7,000 years ago. And if you have blue eyes, you're a direct descendant of that person. That's not too bad, going from 1 to 700 million. I don't have blue eyes, but I hope you guys are making blue-eyed mommy or daddy proud. Despite their success, people with the blue eye mutation were also feared, more easily accused of being witches or cursing people with a stare.
You dead-eyed, half-blooded demon bastard!
And today, sure, we can point and laugh at the people who were afraid of blue eyes. But if we were in their shoes... Wait, did they have shoes? It's tight. Looks like shoes and blue eyes are roughly the same age. Anyway, if you were around 7,000 years ago, and literally the first humans with blue eyes came to visit you from the other side of the forest, why wouldn't you be afraid? Why wouldn't you think there was a devil inside their head turning their eyes blue? I mean, yeah, the reason for the sudden appearance of blue eyes is DNA, and sometimes mutations happen when DNA copies itself and small changes slip through, and if the change doesn't harm survival or even helps, it can spread and shape the species over generations and yeah, but no. If I were alive 7,000 years ago, the blue devil explanation would have honestly sounded more plausible. Part 3, I'm blue. Badabi badaba, badabi bad. Here's a piece of trivia to delight your family and friends over dinner. The expression feeling blue may come from sailors raising a blue flag to commemorate the death of their captain. So it made an association between the blue of water and death, and over time the signification evolved from death to sorrow and melancholy. But the fear of water is something that has stayed with us today. Just look at our thalassophobia with its 1.6 million members. I didn't think I was a thalassophobe, but like, this is genuinely scary. The fear of blue has a name, cyanophobia, and while it's obviously quite niche as far as phobias go, it still is a real thing. This Reddit user fascinatingly states that her fear of blue started when she was 7 years old and saw the blue screen of death on her dad's computer. And it just sounds specific and sincere enough that I don't think she's trolling. If you were to describe yourself as an etymologically driven person, then you've probably noticed cyanophobia shares the same root as cyanide, from the color cyan. So yeah, there is a story between blue and poison. My case is totally solid. Point 4. Blue is like not the warmest color at all. This movie made no sense. Humanity's come a long way from our primal fears of blue, but there is one thing we cannot escape yet: our own bodies. They turn blue when we are cold, and they turn blue when we lack oxygen. Like the victims of cholera who had cyanosis, meaning a bluish tone because of poor oxygen delivery in the skin tissues. And that's one of the possible sources for the expression we have in French, peur bleue, literally blue fear, which means being scared to death. In recent history, deaths at sea have dramatically decreased, and we are not worried, like Asterix, about the sky falling on our heads anymore. So the color blue does not have much mystery left for us. We know not to eat strange blue mushrooms, and we know not to stroke the blue froggy, even though it's very cute and very tempting. And one day, unless we nuke ourselves to death first, we'll achieve the technology to have the safest boats, and no one in the world will drown at sea, and no one will die in the sky, and we'll get rid of cholera. Our skin will keep turning blue in the cold or from the lack of oxygen, but that's only until we mechanize our bodies into part robots, and we won't have to breathe or even have blood. And then, okay, then maybe we'll have truly transcended any fear of blue. So even if the sky is disappointingly not the skull of Ymir, and just the scattering of light, its blueness is something we've come to love. It's a shield, protecting us from the actual terrors that lie beyond the blue sky, or below the blue sea. In the end, blue truly might be the warmest color because it's our friend and protector. That is, until we space travel and stumble upon a new planet that teaches us to fear the color blue again. This video is a bit different from the previous ones I've been doing. Please let me know if you're enjoying this new direction for the channel. Anyway, I had a lot of fun making this, so thank you for watching, and I hope you found this video mind-blowing. Oh, thank God this is the end. The quality of the puns is really going downhill.